Hey guys, how you doing? Let me know if everything's working here. We are live again with our weekly flyover and commentary video. So, want to hear from you guys? I just want to hear real quick that the audio is working. I need a thumbs up or something real quick, and then we'll start chit chatting. We did some redecorating here. I don't know if you guys like that display behind me. Um, we've got, let's see, this side we got a Tesla hat, and then right over there, see if we can do this right. I'm totally backwards. That is a bobblehead of Nikola Tesla. Then we've got a Cybertruck. We've got an authentic official Tesla supercharger. We've got a model that I had in a box for a really long time. That's a 69 Camaro. Then right above it looks like a Barracuda. Behind that, let's see. We'll switch fingers. That right there is Nigo Montoya. And if anybody can tell me who that is, you win a prize. I don't know what it is, though. Right there, we've got like a 50-something T-Bird. That's Andre the Giant. And right there is a dragon filled with some sort of liquor. Most of these things I've had lying around and just decided to display them. Right there, geez. What is that? Oh, I don't want to talk about that one. That's a bobblehead of me right there. And this is a baseball that somebody made for me. I had given them some wood that had tons of wood lying around. I gave him a bunch of wood. And he took this and he made this baseball out of wood. It's kind of cool. Here, let me grab that one. Look at that. Looks like a real baseball, but that's all wood. It's kind of cool. So we put up some shelves and we decided to decorate. So hope that makes the experience so much better for you guys. Let's see. We got Tyler here. Glenn's here. Imelt's here. Alon is here from Israel. Sam's here. Torstein, he gave me the thumbs up. Octavio says good to go. Patrick sounds good. Edward, Javier, Mondays means bear. Love your Nikola flyovers. I'm going to buy you a new drone so you have a backup once Nikola hits $40 a share. Got my fingers crossed. Imel says the Cybertruck is cool. Get a Nikola tray. I looked for one. We could not find one, but once we find like a Nikola tray model, we'll add one to that, and we'll probably add a Lucid Air too. So both of those would be kind of cool, and we'll probably be swapping things out and adding things in as we get new things. Jiraj is here. Is that Daddy Bear on your back shelf? This is a bobblehead of me from many years ago that my wife made me. A little dusty, but yeah, that's what I look like without a beard. And that is completely authentic. That is me. That's exactly what I look like without my shirt on. So I hope you guys believe that. So we'll put that one back there. So anyway, we had a good flyover today. There's decent things to see that do not reflect in the stock price, which Nikola closed at $7.53, down 16 cents. Kind of surprising. It was up as much as $7.94 today. And then everybody just took a dive and got down as low as $7.43, but came back a little bit. So we're hoping that we're going to see that $40 a share and I get a new drone from Javier. Be looking forward to that. Jerez says, not that one on top of the dragon. No, that's Andre the Giant. Let's see right here. That is Andre the Giant from a movie. And that right there is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father, prepare to die. Anybody know the movie? Let me hear it. Angel says hello. All right, let's go over to the video. We got about 50 people on. So let's get going because that's what you guys are here for. You're not here for what's on my shelf. All right. And we are going. Got the big cursor on so you guys can see. Glenn Phillips, The Princess Bride. That is correct. Glenn, I wish I had a prize for you. But that's like one of my all-time favorite movies is The Princess Bride. I just think it's great. But, nice, good family humor without being stale and repeating the same old jokes. Yeah, quite a bit of change. From May to July was quite a bit of change. In September when they started phase 1, concrete going down. There's the fuel cell for breast cancer. That picture was from January, so that was our newest picture that we put in our previews. Flying in from the north, headed south, and we had quite the show right there as we're pulling in. I don't know if you guys can see it yet, but right here we've got 3 Nikola trays, all BEVs, and they're just lined up there, and there's another one right off to the left, the gray one. Garage says Biagio driving their fuel cell. I don't know why no announcement. I don't know why either, but at some point you got to just start putting them out there and not announce every single delivery. But it would be nice to hear a little bit about the fuel cell. It is still alpha, so I don't think it's considered an official delivery. Jokol, greetings from Sweden. Did you see the latest video from the Nikola factory? Lots of trucks on the pre-production line. Yes, we're seeing it right now. Yeah, so those 3 trucks are there. And we've noticed some of them are numbered. I'm going to pause it right here. Right here, this one has a G7 on it. That one has a G5. We saw G5 last week. It was the real dirty one. It's also missing the top wind deflector right up there. But that's G5, that's G7. We also notice that they're tagged in the back. So we can see the numbers on the back of the trucks also. So we're just trying to keep an eye on which numbers we see, because that way we know that they're different trucks. This one has no number on it. And I thought that was a pretty cool sight. The 3 of them sitting there ready to go. And, seeing that was cool. Then we look over, we see this one. One thing we noticed about this, and it's a really minor thing, pause it right here, but on all the white trays, it says battery electric vehicle. And on this one, it doesn't say that for some reason. And we've heard a rumor that this gray truck might be a little special, and we don't know why. So we're waiting to find out, but that truck's actually been sitting over in that spot since last week. It's not getting charged, obviously. It's not connected, but it looks like it's ready to go. We've seen that one driving around before. That one also has no plate on it. So don't know what the plans are, because they don't tell me. They don't tell me anything at all. So we were flying around, and we got a little more trays coming in a little bit. When we were flying around, one of them popped out. We had to change course. This is the Dyno building. I've decided I'm not going to say dynamometer building anymore because I can't say it right. So we're just going to call it the Dyno building from now on. Believe that this is the wash station right here. And you can see that there's more forms were put in. So that's getting a little taller. These guys over here are actually removing the wood forms because the concrete's been poured and it's cured enough that they can remove the forms. So this is coming along pretty quickly. I know that they've got to pour the center still. Don't know what's going on with these other areas around here where my mouse is, but I imagine we're going to find out soon enough, because this is going to get poured. But there is a closer look. You can see these guys are pulling the wood forms off. You can see the wood just there in the corner. This guy's actually grabbing a tool. He's going to start prying away. But all those things they're tough to pull off. They can be tough to pull off. But that's what's going on with the Dyno building right now. And just a reminder, this area right here is where the hydrogen stack is going to go, either here or right here. I think it's going to be right on top of this from what I saw in the plans. Speaking of which, I still haven't gotten anything as far as plans go. Let's see. Why would the gray tray be special? What do you mean by that? We were just told by someone that there's a gray tray that's special. Don't really know. They didn't give us any more information, but it was someone who worked for Nikola. So we're kind of just waiting to find out what's going to go on with that. Pat says, say dynamometer building 3 times in a row and you'll win a prize. I'm not even going to try for the prize. I can't do it. Dynamometer, dynamometer, dynamometer. Oh, I almost tripped on the last one. Tyler says, are those 4 separate buildings there? I don't believe that they are. I think it's 2 separate buildings. One is just the wash building, and then the 4 sections with the one in the middle, that is going to be one building. So it's the one building off to the side, which is the smallest one, which has the forms that are coming out of the ground. That's one building. And the other is all going to be one building, which I think we'll see start taking shape in the next couple of weeks as they put in more pieces that are going to connect all that. So headed down on the east side, you could see all those all that production material or equipment is still outside. And now the debate was brought up whether it's for the dynamometer building or if it's actually going inside, because it was never particularly told. It said that they're waiting for the next building to put it in, but they didn't tell us what. And you can see one of the guys is working on the facade right here. What are your current thoughts on the parts lying next to the factory building? I suggest they're for the Dyno building. Yes, Pat, you were the one. I got your comment after I said all that. But yeah, it's very possible. We're going to have to, on Wednesday, just take a real good close-up of those parts and see if anybody can identify any of those parts, and maybe that they have to do with the dynamometer building. So anyway, we were flying up by the facade, and poof, out comes another tray. We don't know if this is a newborn, if it was freshly hatched, but it almost looks like it was, like they pulled it out and off to the test drive. So we got a nice view of this truck, and we followed around for a little bit. Does the completion of the dyno building reduce the need for comprehensive testing for each vehicle? I don't think so. I do know that they are going to be building a test track that on the north side of the site, which is where we fly in from, and it's going to be about 1.5 miles. So they're going to have a decent sized test track out there. I think the dynamometer building, maybe just to log each vehicle as far as what kind of specs it has. And the test track is going to be to test suspension, power, regenerative braking, things like that. And a lot of other things like that. But they do have the test track is going to be built this year, 1.5 miles. And I assume that this loop that they're on right here, this is their mini test loop, is probably going to connect to that. They spent a decent amount of time working on that. Yeah, Pat, when you had brought that up in a comment in a couple of videos ago, it made me really start to think like maybe that's where it is going, because they haven't brought anything into the main building. All that stuff is sitting right there. So it is very possible that it is for the dyno building, and it's going to sit there until it's ready to get put in there. Let's see. Sabina, I can't wait to see Nikola trucks on the road more often. I'm heavily invested on Nikola with average at 30s. Well, Sabina, I hope you can bring that average down. If you got any money, now's a good time to try and average that out. Pat says, I really like the fact that Mark Duchesne announced the order of the next 300,000 square feet of factory building. Yeah, he did. There was another episode of the Nikola driving change or whatever it's called. And he did say that order was put in. And I'd been told that it had been put in. Also, I think I think that was filmed in December, just based on the things that they were talking about in putting out the first 2 trucks. But yeah, that order has been put in, and it was put in some time ago, actually. A lot of the parts that they need for the next phase, there's a big back order. Roof membrane, roof decking is all like a year out. So a lot of that stuff was pre-ordered even before the 300 square feet was announced or solidified, because the construction companies are ordering them now in advance, whether they need it or not, because they know they're going to need it for a project. German Tech, hey Bear, you're doing a really good job. They might hire you on board. I doubt it because I don't know what they'd hire me for. But it would always be nice to have an offer. Tyler says, do you know when the assembly line will be completed in phase one? It's supposed to be completed by the end of this month. That was the last thing that I've heard. There has been some time that's gone by, so it could be a little bit longer. I look at this area that we're looking at in the video right now, and it seems to me like it's clearing out. It used to be very messy over there, and that is the area where phase two is going. So I think they're probably going to start phase two in the next month. When I say next month, I mean next month, probably in March, and we're going to see something going on in that area. First sign will be when they start clearing that off, and maybe the sign before that is when they make a new place to stage all their equipment, because they need to move all that stuff somewhere. So this is the southeast corner of the site, and this was a little interesting because we've got a guy grading down in what is essentially the canal. That's for water runoff. But you can see up top in this area, they're doing a lot of grading in that corner. To be honest with you, I have no idea why. I know that eventually there's going to be a little pond there of some sort for either water retention or irrigation or whatever it might be. But that's what's going there. So I'm not exactly sure what they're doing out there right now, but there are people working out there doing things. Hey, let's see, Sabina, that's the plan to load up a few more thousand shares, just waiting for a pattern reversal and have a few solid confirmation days, maybe weeks for a bullish pattern. Yeah, I just want to get in at those low prices. I'm really comfortable in the $7 range as far as buying. So I just think the company's worth more than that, and I think there's a lot more potential. There's the pond that's been there since day one. That was one of the first things that they put in. They use the water from there to keep the dust down, because dust suppression is very big out here. But you can see up here, they're still doing a little bit of grading in where the employee parking lot is going to be, which that's got to be getting paved real soon. You can see that coming up here on the left-hand side, right here, one of the roller pieces of the roller equipment to flatten everything out. And here's our frame count. Okay, our frame count was the same. It was 31. I'm going to pause that real quick. Let's see. Gabriel says probably next equipment storing yard. You know, as far as that front area, I was thinking about maybe that they were going to store equipment up there, but there's a couple of things that make that not make sense. One is it's pretty far from the actual building itself. So it's not like you can run over and get something real quick. You're definitely going to have to drive over. The other part is it's on the opposite side of the fence. They've put up a fence around the perimeter of all the way around the back and then like halfway up to the front. So it's actually out of the secured area. So I don't think, it crossed my mind, and then I thought about that. It's not in a secured area. So everything out there, somebody would be able to walk up to and take things. People do that, believe it or not. So the frame count is the same. There's 31. I brought this up last week, this pile of frames over here. There's 11 of them over here. It used to be 10, but then there was another one showed up. They appear to be different. You can see it in the picture. They're a different color. This is almost like a gray, and this is a black. All these other frames, and these are all the frames that they worked on. All the frames that they've done the little prep on are spread out. These frames that look different, they haven't done anything to. So my thoughts are either that one set of frame is for a fuel cell truck and one is for the BEV. And I think the ones that they have out is for the BEV, because I know they're planning on producing a lot more of those a lot quicker. So we did a flyover looking straight down at these frames. Now I'm going to pause it right about here. Now you can see this is the pile of frames I was talking about. And these to me look different. Now this one is facing the opposite direction as all of these. But if you compared this frame right here to these stacks of the four stacks right here. The cross members look skinnier on these frames. They look a lot skinnier. Not only that, the thickness of these frames look a lot thicker than, say, these frames. So I was wondering what you guys think. Are these frames different? You see these cross members right here? See where my arrow is? They're really, really skinny. And over here they appear to me to be thicker. These sidewalls are the sides of the frames themselves. They appear to be thicker than these. And I don't know if it's just the angle we're looking at, but I'm wondering what you guys think. And before I move on, I'm going to look for some comments from you guys. Let's see. When do we see the selling fuel cell EV? That is going to be next year before they sell any of the fuel cell. They're still in alpha testing. So we are still looking at least a year before we see that. Though they're making great progress, being that we can see these vehicles actually driving around. Pat says, thanks again for your effort, really helping us investor supporters get updated and stay motivated. Let's hope for a green week after all. Greetings from Germany and good night. Good night, Pat. It was good to see you. And Tyler says, did anyone hear Mark Russell say in the latest Nikola video that hydrogen production will be ready for the fuel cell tray? What in the world are they waiting for? I think they're waiting on their partners to actually follow through on this, and we just don't know if there's anything actually being constructed right now. We haven't heard anything, so we don't know. But I think it will be ready by the time the fuel cell comes out, but would like to see it sooner. Pat, maybe they need thicker frames for the fuel cell as they are heavier, but could be the angle. Garbage truck versus semi. They're not making any garbage trucks. That deal did not work out. That is old news. I would think that these are for fuel cell, only because I think they're really getting down on the production for the batteries, and that's why they've got all these frames laid out. They look like they're ready to go. And these other ones, I think as they make more alphas, they'll take out of that pile. Just a guess, though. Don't really know for sure, but it is something that I noticed last week, that those frames look different. Whether slightly different, but different. So I would think that the battery ones would need a heavier frame, though, also, because the batteries are going to have more weight to them. Either that, or they're trying to reduce weight on the battery frame because of how many batteries are in there. So there's two sides to every coin. Maybe a fuel cell frame needs to be stronger due to tank support and so on. I do not think they are like a cab over and a long hood version of the tray. Yeah, I agree. So here we have the security building that's going up. You can see these guys actively working. It's obviously going to be concrete. It's interesting. I wonder why certain things are made from steel, certain things are made from concrete. I wonder if it's price related, or if it being a security building, maybe there's some fire control in there and that needs to be made out of concrete. Because they did do one section of this factory was concrete, and it was a utility room. So, and here's another view of these frames. You could see the heavier frames are off to the right is what I'm seeing, but I don't know. It's hard to tell. They definitely look different to me. Maybe somebody will reach out to me on Twitter and give me some information. Who knows? Concerning that they have to muck with the frames. I don't think it's that concerning, Lockford. There are certain things that have to be done, whether brackets or certain things to fit the battery packs, because these are frames that were made for ice engines, for ice vehicles. So there are going to be things that have to be done to make these things fit, whether it's brackets or different holes for routing cables or wires or hoses. Probably won't be too many hoses, but we know there's a lot of wires in it. So here we're coming in. We got another shot of the 5 trays sitting there. It's nice to see 5 of them out there. At the same time, you want to see them get delivered, but hey, I'm glad we got to see them. So There's the back end of the one that was just driving around. It looked like they moved part of that off to the side. That's the G5. You can see it in the corner. And that's going to be the G7. If you can see that right there. And that last one does not have a label on it. It's also interesting. It looks like there's some, like the panels are missing. Let's move this back just a tiny bit. You see the aluminum panels, what looks like diamond plate, but it's not. The gray truck has it. G5 has it, but G7 does not have it. G7 looks like it's missing its covers, which just tells me that they're probably still working on it. Unless those are the covers, but those don't look like the covers. Glenn Phillips says, I would think that the intrusion protection rating needs of the FCV mandate the need for a heavier frame. It's possible, but they are using bulletproof tanks. If you saw that video that came out a while ago with Sandy Monroe, they were able to shoot those tanks and were not able to pierce them. Charlie Fox, concrete can be a blast wall better than a steel framed area. We gave them for transformers and rotating machines. Yeah, and that's what I was thinking. Maybe there's going to be some utilities in there, and that's why they need the stronger walls. This is the water campus area. Not much going on over there. We do see some trenching work going on. Right there, there's a guy in the trench doing whatever needs to be done. But yeah, they still got more things going on with trenching. Let's see. The concrete building is a bunker against haters that are passing by. A fuel cell EV machine gun will be placed there. Yeah, well, you got to defend your site, you know. So maybe they'll put up a couple of turrets. That'll be pretty interesting. And this is just us flying back. This is the area where let's just pause this real quick. Let's go back just a little bit. All right, they're here. So this is the area up here. I believe that the test track is going to go from this end all the way to the other side. Not the complete area, I think, because I think it's nearly a mile across. But it will go probably like 3/4 away. This like probably end about here and then loop back. There was original plans that a pond was going to go in the center of the test track, but I don't think that's still going on. But it's possible. We'll have to see that will happen towards the end of the year, and we'll know more information then. So what do you guys think about today's video, seeing all those trays out there? That's pretty interesting to see 5 of them sitting there. Let's see if we can get them on the screen again. Maybe it was this way. There we go. There's our 5 trays, and the employee parking lot's full again. So what do you guys think about today's video? You guys got any questions, statements, or anything that you want to say? Let me hear them. We're going to be flying out again on Wednesday and then again on Friday. Next week, we're not going to have a live stream. I'm going to be unavailable next week to do any type of live stream, but we will still have flights. So don't worry about that. It's not just me here doing this. There are other behind the scenes people like my son Riley, and he's going to cover for me when I'm not here, but he won't be doing voiceovers. Glenn says he's stoked, and Imel says I haven't seen JJ or Ellie today. Well, yeah, I don't know where Ellie is, and I don't know where JJ is either. I don't know what they're thinking, because they're missing their favorite show. And Lily Mae's not here either. Claims to be my #1 fan. She's going to have to fight Ellie for it. Lockbird says, don't know if mentioned, but latest video gave me main building size 280,000 square foot. Phase 0.5, 150,000 square foot for phase 1. Yeah, and you know what? That was slightly off from my estimates. My estimate of phase 1 was actually 275,000 square foot, but that's with us measuring from the sky. So I was real close on that one. I was a lot further off on phase 1, unless they're counting the Dyno building. and the security building, because we were at 100,000 for the main building. So a little far off on that one, but we almost nailed it on the first phase. And yes, we got earnings day coming up on February 24th. So a little bit more than 2 weeks, or 2.5 weeks for that. So that's going to be interesting. The test truck needs a chicane and a banked turn. I don't know what a chicane is, but yeah, bank turn would be awesome if it's banked on both sides, where they can just go a lot faster. That would be good. Parking is going to end here. Okay. Let's see. The stock should start going up in April, hopefully. I'd like to see it go up a little bit sooner. I don't think that they had a lot of deliveries in December. I know they said that they were going to deliver up to 25, and the only ones that we're positive of are two. So I'm hoping it's more than that, and I hope there's a little bit of earnings. That would be really nice to see. But we just got to have a little bit more patience and wait and see what comes up with that. But with only 2 confirmed deliveries, we'll have to see. I think quarter one is probably going to be much better. I think we'll probably be in the, from what we're seeing right now, at the current rate, probably like 30. But if they do get that next phase going, we could see a whole lot more than that. But we've also need to get some firm orders in, because a lot of these are for testing purposes. That's what I'm waiting for, is like TTSI to come back and say, this is great. We're going to complete our order. A chicane is a serpentine curve in a road. Think Watkins Glen. Okay. So more like a street race. Okay, I got it. Let's see. In Finedic, Bear, did you get a chance to go inside the factory on the opening when all the people were there? Nope, I wasn't invited. So we were promised March like 5 months ago. So we'll wait and see if that pans through. We'd love to go in and show you guys something positive. So hopefully that will still happen, but I just haven't heard from the people in the know in a while. So we'll see. I'm not going to have my hopes up, to be honest with you. So what else you guys got? So did everybody get a chance to see the video that Nikola put out? I mean, it was good. I liked it, and it had some good information in it. And like previously mentioned, to hear Mark say that the order for the additional 300,000 square foot was put in, let's just go back to where that is at the site, just so you guys know. In case you don't know, this is probably the best view right here. I'm going to pause this. That next phase is going to go from this corner of the building to around here, and then it's going to go all the way up here to the front, and then go across and connect right here. And that's going to be the next phase. And it's supposed to also go across this space right here. There's going to be an open area between the next building and the phase 3. From the last time I saw the plans, is also going to include the start of the next structure, which is over here. And this is really going to increase their production capacity. But like it's been said before, they need the orders, because they don't have, from my understanding, they don't have 2,000 orders, but that's what their production capacity is going to be done when this section is done by the end of next month. Glenn says this video was done extremely well. Thank you, Glenn. We appreciate that. And Lockwood said, I don't like that I couldn't see people that were in the previous videos in the latest one. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't even think to look for that. I assume you're talking about people working for Nikola in the previous video weren't seen in this one. I did not compare him that well. I mean, obviously we saw Mark was in the previous one and he was in this one, but he's the director of global manufacturing, or whatever his title is. So, people like that stick around a little bit longer. I didn't look for that, but that's interesting that you did. Let's see. I didn't like that I couldn't see bear in the factory when they promised. Yeah, I wasn't in that picture either, if anybody noticed. Intimidator, more capacity than orders in the EV world. Wow. Well, just because they have the production capacity doesn't mean that they have the production supply, meaning that they don't have the materials. And that could always hold them back. I believe Kim Brady had said that. They'll have the capacity, but they may not have the supply of materials. So I think the orders are coming, and I'm just waiting for one of the groups that are testing these vehicles says we want to complete our order. I think a lot of people are sitting on the sidelines, and once they hear something like that, they're going to jump on board, and hopefully there'll be a nice report beside saying, yeah, we like them, we want more. Nikola Motors' recent video showing 20 plus trays inside. That is true. If you start counting in that video, all the trays that were in there. Let me see if I could pull that up real quick. That would be nice to just bring up. Let's see. I'm just checking this out on the other page here. I'm going to search for Nikola Motors and let's see if... Oh, look at me. I'm in the number 3 spot. Gotta love that. Let's see. Here it is. I'm going to bring that over to the screen. Let's see if it shows up properly. Got to minimize that. Here we go. Here's the video that they put out. Let's skim through this from the beginning. Let's get into, okay. Here's inside the factory. Driving change. Hey, you know what? Everybody's wearing masks. How could you tell if it was the same people? So we got a couple of trays. Honestly, I think this was filmed in December. Whoa, that was quite a few right there. Let's see if I can pause this properly. All right, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 right there. I'm looking for any kind of markings on there, like the G5 or the G7, because you'd think that these trucks would be done by now. But there's a lot of trucks in there. A whole lot of trucks. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 right there. Then they've got them lined up. So there's a lot. I would say that there's got to be 20 trucks there. Just looking to see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 that I'm sure of. 8, 9, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. And then we saw in this center row, we probably saw another 4 or so. So yeah, there's at least 20 trucks there. So yeah, things are definitely moving. Let's see. Lockport, they really need the equipment installed so they can meet the orders they currently have. The LOIs that they currently have, yes. And that's what I'm waiting for. And I think will mean something when those LOIs are actually turned into actual orders. But that could happen at any time now. And I'm just waiting to see it. So that'll be good. And I think that'll be really good for the company. Intimidator, where are the robots? The robots, they're not necessarily using robots to put this together. They're hand assembling these, but it's going to be on a production line. So right now they're hand assembling, like just bringing up the parts and the equipment that they need. But they are going to have the automated carriers that carry the truck from one station to the other. So it is a production line, and at each line they'll be installing the parts that are necessary. So right now I don't think it's going to be very automated, even when they have that production line going. All right. Well, we're getting close to the end, guys. So if you got any questions, let's get them in as soon as we can. We'll keep this video rolling. And again, no, you do not see me in this picture. That was like the first piece of steel being laid. Those are shots that we took. We didn't take that one, but we had shots just like that. There was 5 in that center row right there, maybe 6, maybe 7. So they've got over 20 there. So it's pretty exciting to see this all come together, especially after just seeing a lot of dirt for so long. But yeah, they've got a lot going on there. And then you got the guys that say that it's an empty warehouse. No, that's a factory. They're making stuff. So not seeing any new questions coming up. And gosh golly, we missed JJ today. I can't believe that happened. So like I said earlier, our next flyover is Wednesday. We'll be doing one on Wednesday and Friday of this week. As always, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Live stream of the Lucid site will be on Wednesday, and I've got an episode of Fast Charging with B&B coming up tomorrow at 4 p.m. Pacific. So I hope you guys can join us. We've got a decent amount of people on today. I appreciate everyone who came to visit today, and I hope you enjoyed today's video. And we will see you next time. So I'm going to sign off now. So thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next time.